heiße Neele.
My name is Neele. Neele Buchholz.
Ich bin
I'm a dancer and an actress.
Schauspielerin.
Verkünde die Spiele aus Berlin als geöffnet. Bitte.
Neele Buchholz has a dream. She wants to work as a freelance artist, earn her own money, and perform on the big stage.
Ich möchte gerne
I'd like to create my own productions.
Produktionen machen. Ich möchte gerne viele
I want to create lots of dance theater pieces. That's what I really want to do.
It's a journey of challenges and intense emotions.
What hurt you? Tell me. Oh, come here. Tell me, sweetheart.
Warum bin ich anders als
Why
die
am I
anderen?
different from the others? Weird people spit at me, or I don't even know.
Keine Ahnung was.
Time and again, her desire for independence is tested.
Ich bin
I'm 33 years old, and I'm an adult too.
Neele is determined to stand on her own 2 feet. Can she manage it?
Neele was born on August 21st, 1991 in Bremen.
Da war meine Mama Anfang
My mom was 21 then. She was really young.
Ganz jung.
Fetch the water. Will it be your great-granddaughter? My heart.
Ich habe das Down-Syndrom.
I have Down syndrome.
Also bin ich
That's how I was born.
gekommen.
My mom was surprised at first.
Neele, hello.
Ich bin selber Erzieherin. Für mich
I'm
war
a
das
preschool
jetzt nicht
teacher
ganz
myself,
Down-Syndrom.
so Down syndrome wasn't entirely new to me, and I was only 21 at the time, which I think was a good thing. You just kind of accept it. You have that one night when you're brooding a bit, but then you're okay with it.
Okay.
Neele's grandpa had a camera,
Komm, Neele.
and he captured Neele's childhood on film.
Dann hatten wir so
We had this microphone, and Neele would always talk into it. She was still really little, about 2 years old, I think.
Neele hat schon immer
Neele
gerne
always loved to sing and started dancing aged 3.
tanzen. Der Opa hat
Grandpa started a kind of kids' circus in the village, and Neele was always part of it.
immer auch mit dabei, ne?
Mein Opa hat mich
My grandpa put me in that magic box there.
da gesteckt.
Ja, dann ist sie ja
So at some point, Neele started going to school, and there was a drama club there that she joined. She really loved being on stage, acting things out and having everyone watch her.
zugeguckt.
She was in school for 12 years, up through 10th grade and then 2 more years of vocational school.
Ein Berufsberater kam in die
A careers counsellor came to the school, just like they do everywhere, and he brought a form for us to sign, stating that Neele would go to the workshop when she'd finished school.
Werkstatt geht.
Neele was expected to transition to a sheltered workshop for people with disabilities, the path taken by most school graduates in Germany with Down syndrome. But Mum Daniela and stepdad Lars left the decision up to Neele.
Da habe ich gesagt,
I said, no, I don't want to do that because it's boring.
langweilig ist.
Und das
And they
fanden
all
alle
thought this was like, but he said, no, we can't do that.
And what would have happened to Neele's pension? If she didn't go to the workshop, she wouldn't have anything at all.
Wenn es ein Werk
For a workshop position, she'd have earned €1.50 per hour, and that's why we didn't sign the form.
unterschrieben.
So, läuft. Und bitte.
May 2024. Neele is 33 years old.
Flowers, I love them.
Yeah, I was thinking that would work nice.
Buxheim in southern Germany. 2 days of filming lie ahead. Neele is set to star in the short film Prologue to Darkness.
I'm excited.
Dann machen wir gleich.
Let's block the scene.
Yes?
So let's go through the whole thing.
The film tells a story from the Nazi era and is interspersed with current far-right statements from the AfD. It aims to highlight the danger posed by right-wing parties.
Mom?
Yes?
I'm a little nervous.
Yes, I know. But luckily you don't have any lines yet, right?
Mum Daniela accompanies Neele and helps her with the job, including things like getting from A to B.
I'm actually really glad that I'm Neele's assistant and get to accompany her every now and then. It's so nice to spend time with Neele.
You're my mom. And that's my brother.
Yes, I'm your brother.
Yeah. Mom, brother, me. Yeah, I'm just happy. I'm just happy. I'm just happy.
A moment of suspense, and then the filming begins. It's time for Neele to perform. She is completely focused.
Neele, that was fantastic. You were really in the zone. And that was lovely.
Und das war schön.
Neele won't make any money from this role. It's a volunteer-based project for everyone involved.
Yeah, in this case, Neele won't get paid. But since the issue is so relevant, it's important to raise awareness. You have to stay on top of things. There's competition here too. There are quite a few actresses with Down syndrome, so it's about maintaining visibility for Neele.
For Neele and her mum Daniela, it was 4 days of work including travel. But Neele needs work that brings in an income. As a teenager, Neele loved to dance and act. Mum Daniela and stepdad Lars encouraged her.
Ein bisschen wie im Himmel auf Erden fühlen sich die jungen Schauspieler bei diesem Auftritt. Und das nicht nur wegen Engel Neele. Ihr Tanztheaterprojekt 4 Asse für einen Kuss wurde ausgezeichnet.
After graduating from high school and choosing not to go to the sheltered workshop, Neele's plan was to keep dancing. And she wanted to find a real job.
Yeah, Neele was looking for a job, right? That was still on the table. So I think you said something about a cafe and serving tables?
That was in the service and cleaning section.
Neele received her first internship contracts and was able to apply for funding. But was the daycare centre and the cafe the right thing for Neele?
But that wasn't fun.
Für dich würde immer die Arbeit putzen und fegen.
You were always left with the cleaning and sweeping. Because when it comes to other jobs, our work culture isn't set up for things to be done more slowly or differently. So then, the logical conclusion was that Neele should do what she's good at.
Dass Neele das macht, was sie gut kann.
Daniela and Lars asked a dance club where Neele had been dancing for fun if they would hire Neele on a permanent basis.
And they said, sure, let's do it. Let's give it a try.
That was a big deal.
And that's how she got into this professional dancing, so to speak.
So at the age of 21, Neele gained permanent employment as a performer. Neele still lives in her hometown of Bremen in a large, inclusive shared apartment. Today, she's on cooking duty with Julia. Her roommates receive a small allowance to help her with everyday tasks.
Yeah.
Could you grab a big pan for me?
Which pan? Small, large?
I'd prefer a large one. Either that one or I'll take a look.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
I moved out of my parents' house, and I've also become more independent. Yeah.
It's been 5 years since Neele moved out of Daniela and Lars's place. For Neele, this works thanks to the shared living arrangement that makes her everyday life easier. After a long day at work, she can recharge at the apartment.
Mostly Neele is the type to say, okay, I need some peace and quiet now, and then she'll go off and take some time for herself. Though when she's been away for a while, a few weeks or so, then you can really tell that she's just super happy to be back in the shared apartment, goofing around a bit and having fun.
Luckily, the weekend is coming up.
Freitag, Samstag, Sonntag, Montag.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. I have 4 days off. Saturday, outings with my roommates. And then Friday, Sunday, Monday, 3 days. I'm not doing anything at all. That's it.
In her early 20s, Neele launched her career as a professional dancer. She performed both nationally and internationally. She also appeared in TV roles. Then suddenly the permanent position felt restrictive.
And at some point, Neele said she wanted some career advice from us. So we met up and Neele said she was quitting, giving up her permanent job. I was completely dumbstruck.
Hallo. Moin.
Neele is embarking on a new adventure. Very few female artists with Down syndrome dare to take such a step.
So
I want to be self-employed.
First stop, professional advice at Stadthaus Bremen, the resource center for aspiring entrepreneurs.
So dancing, acting, the core stuff, I'll do that myself. But if there are any difficulties, I'll need work assistance.
And for that, you need money. The consultant assesses Neele's plan. Can she make a living as a freelance artist?
The business plan was well received. Good, till next time.
The consultant approves. Neele can now take her business plan to the integration office.
Super, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
The funding is approved. A new sense of freedom and new challenges, because now she has to land some jobs.
Yeah, I'm not sure if we can send that one email.
2 years of self-employment have passed. Office work with stepfather Lars is now part of the daily routine. Neele needs new paid assignments.
A few emails have come in. You'll have to read them, or I'll translate them for you into simple language.
A message from a theatre director in Berlin. Neele was hoping for a role in his new play.
Hi, I just wanted to let you know that unfortunately we won't be receiving any funding for our project. It was rejected.
Yes, it was rejected.
Yeah, that's a bummer.
Yeah, that's a bummer. No project, no money.
For Neele, being self-employed also means dealing with rejections and setbacks.
Kind regards, Neele and Lars. All done, right?
Yes.
Hi, Neele.
Hi.
But Neele isn't going to be discouraged. She throws herself into her next project, a new dance piece. Her assistant, Anna Herzit, accompanies her to rehearsals and picks her up from the bus stop, because Neele can only get this far on her own.
Can you come to the other side so I can take your hand? Okay.
Neele almost always takes the bus in Bremen. From the bus stop, there's a 600-meter walk to the rehearsal rooms.
There's no crosswalk, no traffic light. That's why she needs an assistant like me, so we can cross together and be absolutely safe.
At the Centre for Arts, Neele has access to free rehearsal space, a welcome relief since affordable workspaces are so hard to come by.
So then I have to rehearse there, or in different places. I mean, the rehearsal spaces, so I can rehearse.
Neele and her dance partner Magali are fine-tuning their joint piece Asynchronous. They are about to film the dance piece.
The piece Asynchronous is being recorded for, say, guest performances, shows, No, I mean, can you help me, Anna?
So we can use it for applications. Often they just need a recording of a piece so they know what happens in it. And we can send it out as a video and use it for applications.
As a freelance dancer, Neele always has to be on the lookout for new projects, since that's how she makes her living. Back to the office, Lars is helping Neele apply for new funding. Neele uses her own special video method. She's already won an important cultural grant.
I need a lot of support because I have Down syndrome. Where do I start? How does this work? And what do I need?
Neele und auch Daniela, die sind sehr positiv.
Neele and Daniela are both very positive. They're always saying something will come along, and I'm more of a, well, not that I'm negative, but I'm always worrying. For example, it's been 5 months now, and you still haven't found anything.
Without assignments, Neele's dream is in jeopardy, because the work assistants in particular have to be paid.
Und Neele kann der Assistent sagen, bring mich
Neele can tell her assistant, take me from my home to the rehearsal space I'm not familiar with, or to Nuremberg. That's what you get an assistant for, as long as you earn enough money. If you don't earn enough, the government says, okay, it's not worth paying for your assistant. You'll just have to go to the welfare office. And that's the pressure behind it all.
Something has to happen. Neele's jobs and the subsidies for the self-employed aren't bringing in enough money. But Neele has a new plan.
Next year, I'd like to have a big company.
With a company, Neele could apply for higher grants and other forms of funding. For weeks, she and Lars meet regularly to plan the business.
It doesn't exist yet, and we don't even know yet if it can work. That's why we need lawyers. It's why we've been asking lawyers, is it even possible to do it the way we're planning?
Bureaucratic hurdles and legal procedures, so not the easiest project. But if it all works out, Neele would be a co-founder of the company and have a say in all decisions.
All of this is for my company, Lars. Here's what I'm doing next year. Pitch for a feature film, production with Tom, asynchronous.
To be a freelance artist, you just have to make money. Neele loses her options without that.
Evening time at the shared apartment. Neele can't quite switch off. She's received a new edition offer.
I'm doing a self-tape audition.
For the audition, she needs a video of herself playing the potential future role in a specified scene. She's rehearsed it with her acting teacher.
We're working on showing feelings and the lines and so on.
Here, at least tell her where you are.
She already knows.
Oh, you're a sly one, all right.
It's a lot of work for a short clip. Neele hopes this can help her advance to the next round, but she's hardly ever landed a role with a self-tape audition.
I'm never going back there.
It's because of her pronunciation, Neele thinks. Berlin, Theater unterm Dach. After all her hard work, Neele finally hits the jackpot.
Hi. Hey.
Neele has been cast as an actress in a play. It's a major role with 24 performances.
I have a leading role. I'm playing Ophelia. Ophelia has Down syndrome. Ophelia is afraid of going to the asylum.
The play is set during the Nazi era, when people with disabilities were murdered in asylums or so-called sanatorium and nursing homes. The role is challenging. But Neele has fun on stage with the theatre team and her fellow actress, Maya Zecho.
Neele, Watch out for that part where you look up, and make sure to speak a little louder too. I should hear you clearly, okay?
Yeah.
Neele has a lot of lines to learn, but is very proud to have her first real speaking role.
Before that, I said, I can't memorize lines.
Neele has a hard time memorizing longer lines. A fellow actress helps her on stage.
Soft.
Neele, can you hear Sandra?
Yes.
On the ear prompter?
Yes.
Okay, all right then, let's continue.
What does she look like?
What does she look like? I have an ear prompter. Sandra has a microphone, and if I forget something, then Sandra can speak into the mic. Speak into the microphone.
The theatre crew has adapted the role for Neele, simplifying the lines. For director David Stöhr, working with Neele has been an exciting experience.
Bei Neele ist es tatsächlich alles sehr direkt gewesen.
With Neele, everything was always very direct, actually. If something wasn't right, she'd let us know. I mean, she'd cry or say so outright. And then we'd discuss it, take a brief pause, and then carry on.
Between rehearsals and the performance, Neele meets up with some former colleagues in Berlin. Johanna Polai and Tonio Schneider from the TV series El Dorado KDW.
Nice to see you.
Yeah.
Neele wants to know how the two of them have been landing these jobs.
So on a Friday evening, they'll demand something by Monday.
I need time, but they always want everything right away, quick, quick, quick. And I want someone to take me seriously, too.
In the film industry, like in so many other fields, there are still a lot of barriers. For example, assistants are either hard to find or aren't paid at all, which means the pay ends up lower.
The UN Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities has been in effect in Germany since 2009. It guarantees the right to equal and freely chosen employment for people with disabilities. The reality, however, looks quite different.
And now here's my text. Rain hat, right?
Smell it. Smell the flower.
Smell the flowers.
The clock is ticking in Berlin. That evening, Neele will perform in Theater unterm Dach. She rehearses her lines one last time.
I get nervous before performances, but once I'm on stage, I'm not nervous.
Mum Daniela is back as Neele's assistant. She is there to help with everything related to the performance and travelling. And there's money to be made on this production too.
We have equal pay for everyone. And on top of that, we help cover the cost of the assistant and travel costs. Lodgings too in Neele's case. It's difficult for us as an independent production, but in this case, it was simply necessary.
One last quiet moment.
Is everyone here? Have fun, everyone.
For Neele, it's 2 hours of focused acting.
There's Neele. Das ist Plan B.
One scene is particularly intense for Neele.
Sag es! Ich kann Schuhe besohlen! Sag es! Nein! Sag es! Ich kann Schuhe besohlen! Niemand!
Shortly after the thunderous applause and euphoria, the mood in the locker room suddenly changes.
Was everything okay? Did something bother you? Was I too rough? What hurt you? Tell me, come here. Oh, tell me, sweetheart.
You held me down.
Did I hold you too tight around the neck? Did I? I'm sorry. Okay? Next time we won't do it like that, okay?
You think that was it? I think it was just a tough day today. I mean, she's been on her feet since noon. And then there was a camera crew there the whole time. And there's always the excitement before the performance. And yeah, I think once she's done, a lot of that weight just falls off. And then she cries because she can't put it into words. And the team was learning that too. And now you see it. Everyone's taking care of Neele and comforting her. Lasse already knows that she needs something tasty to drink or something like that. And it's really nice. I think it's nice for her too, with everyone coming over and taking care of her. And then she's fine again in no time. Feeling better? Yeah? Take a sip.
I like you.
Really? Well, I think I like you too.
That's also part of Neele's life. The intense emotions she expresses. And a few months later, a new idea is born.
I have almond-shaped eyes and small ears.
Neele wants a dance theatre piece revolving entirely around her world and her feelings.
I was born with Down syndrome. I can't change that.
A few days later, Neele is back on stage with her dance partners Tom Bunga and Anna Herzit.
I think for the first one, we can give ourselves a little more time.
Tom is Neele's artistic mentor. They've collaborated on and off ever since she started her own business.
I want everyone to take me seriously.
The texts for her piece, Open the Door, My World, are all written by Neele herself.
When I write poems and stories, it just comes from deep inside me. And then I just go for it.
So Neele always starts with a title. I mean, it's something that's on your mind, I think. And you write that down first. And then the images you write about come from your gut.
Disney movies play a big role in Neele's world, so of course Beauty and the Beast shows up in the piece.
Well, I think we can manage to include a glimpse into your dreams.
Yeah.
But also into your thoughts, what your reality is like every day.
Yes.
My
feeling is, why am I different from the others? So I take the train and bus a lot. Drunk people sexually harass me, or weird people spit on me, or I don't know what. It makes me afraid of being touched.
In collaboration with Tom and Anna, Neele's texts are being translated into movements and a story.
I was really in it just now.
I noticed that, yeah. And you don't have to try so hard. That was just right.
Neele has very precise ideas for her costume.
A dark blue dress with tulle and lots of pearls and glitter. That fits my world.
Very nice. Wait, let me just put this in.
But there is a shock in store. Shortly after finishing her piece, Neele is suddenly admitted to hospital. Diagnosis, type 1 diabetes. It affects all her plans. Neele spends Christmas in hospital with her parents and her brother. Her hard-earned freedom is put on hold.
Ever since Neele was diagnosed with diabetes, she's been living with us at home because she needs 24/7 care or assistance. That's not possible in her shared apartment right now. So Neele is back living with us. Well, I have type 1 diabetes myself, so I know what it's like. And that was, yeah, kind of shocking.
Now everything has to be learned all over again.
And then I thought, what can I eat? What can't I eat? I was so unsure with the blood sugar and all that.
It's a whole new challenge now, because everything revolves around this diabetes. And yeah, Neele can't just do things spontaneously anymore.
Nearly 2 months later, Neele is still living with her parents. To continue living independently, she needs a diabetes care assistant, but no one takes responsibility. Not the health insurance company, not the welfare office, nor the home care agency.
They have no idea, because they've no experience with such cases. It's not even that they don't want to help or anything like that. I think it's a big question mark. And ultimately, of course, it's also about money.
Neele's drive to live independently has really been tested. But the new illness isn't Neele's only problem. Lars has some bad news.
Dear Neele, thank you for the email and your play submission.
Neele submitted her dance theatre pieces to inclusion festivals. Were a piece performed, she would earn money.
I've reviewed everything and discussed it with my team, but unfortunately your pieces aren't suitable for the festivals. Not for any festival, I'm very sorry. All the best with your future plans. Best regards.
Living at her parents' again with a diabetes diagnosis and an uncertain future. An end to Neele's dreams?
I'm really disappointed with Bremen. 2 years ago we applied with asynchronous, and they rejected that too.
Plays by other inclusive theatre groups were accepted, but not Neele's. Lars thinks it's an unfair competition.
Neele might be the only freelancer in Germany who implements this so consistently, and who is always paid fairly. She takes inclusion to the next level.
Lars is bothered by the pay gap that still exists in the theatre world between people with and without disabilities.
As a rule, artists with disabilities are either in workshops or underpaid, earning the minimum wage, and the only ones who actually make good money are the artists without disabilities. When the funding goes to the artists without disabilities, it stays there. They don't voluntarily share it.
The problems are very real, but giving up was out of the question for Neele. She accepted an invitation to Sarajevo in Bosnia and Herzegovina. Despite her new illness and the many uncertainties.
I'll check your numbers. Everything's fine, yes.
Later that day, Neele goes to lead a theatre workshop for people with disabilities.
Neele is just really strong when she knows what she wants. And both the diabetes advisor and the doctor, too, recommend that Neele should basically continue living her life as normally as possible and doing everything she can. And that's what we're doing now. I'm just going to quickly make my bed.
Yeah.
Daniela keeps a constant watch on Neele's diabetes.
Neele, you still need to take your shot.
Yeah, the shot, yeah. 4, right?
For the first time since her diagnosis, Neele is back at work, and she's doing it in a country where she doesn't speak the language. Arriving at the theatre, Neele is visibly tense.
This is Selma. Want to hold it up and I can tape it?
Her assistant, Yui, is here to help if Neele forgets something. An interpreter also helps.
I'd like to bring people with disabilities to the front, onto the stage, and make them more visible. I want them to feel confident.
Neele always wants to encourage others, though on this day she feels insecure herself.
When I leave the workshop in a little while, I'll have to speak German. Everyone else speaks Bosnian or English, and I don't know if people will understand me. That's why I was shy and, I don't know, nervous, yeah.
Amila Terzimejic is leading the workshop. She believes in Neele.
I see her as an example of how, how everything is possible, that you can do things that you love and you can be successful. So I think she can be a great role model for all of these participants.
Artists and dancers with disabilities in Bosnia do not yet have the opportunity to live independently or earn their own money, as Neele has been doing in Germany for several years.
So the first one is over your head, and then with the left leg. And the hands, you move them.
The tension falls away and Neele is soon dancing away her worries.
I loved seeing how the dance exercises worked so well with everyone, even without words.
Especially with such a recent diagnosis, I mean the type 1 diabetes, I think it's just great that she can do things like this already, after such a short time, and that she gets invited to workshops like this.
Back at home, the next challenge awaits. In the long term, Neele doesn't want to live with her parents in her old childhood bedroom.
I'll pack all this, and this too. I'll pack my diabetes stuff, and I'll pack my pills, and my DVDs, which I love so much. Aladdin, Barbie, and Inside Out too.
Finally, she gets to spend a night in her shared apartment again. It's an experiment.
I'm 33 years old, and I'm an adult too. And when I live with my parents, I feel like a toddler or a school kid. I don't know. I'd really like to move back into the shared apartment so that I feel like an adult there and can do things on my own.
Can that work? If Neele wants to live full-time in her shared apartment again, she'll need several support workers trained in managing diabetes. For the time being, at least, she's found 2 people to support her.
Hello.
Hello.
One of them is Jan, an old roommate.
It's lovely to see you again.
I can sit here too.
Daniela is still on hand to give some last advice on what insulin to take before the meal.
Oh, right, 146. That's great. So are you having one serving?
Yeah.
And are you having dessert? No? Okay. I'd say 2 for now.
After that, Jan takes over.
Yes, done.
Great.
I'll say goodbye now. Have fun, everyone, and enjoy your meal. Bye.
Jan is employed as a support worker in the shared apartment and will be one of several people supporting Neele in managing her diabetes from now on.
So far, she's the first person I've known with diabetes, and she's an adult. So I don't have any prior experience with diabetes. I've made an arrangement with Neele that I'll sleep in the next room, and she can knock and come in at any time, or phone me, whichever she prefers.
Neele has a sensor under her skin that continuously measures her blood sugar. If the level is too high or too low, her watch and her phone alert her.
My phone doesn't beep, because the goal is for Neele to be able to handle this on her own in the future. She should realize on her own. Right now my phone is beeping. I need to do something, and I still need help with it, so I'll get someone to assist me.
Sophie will take over the night shift. She joins them after dinner.
There, those are my...
Ah, there they are. The juice and the dextro?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
That's for measuring blood.
This is such an exciting time, isn't it? We're all kind of learning this together.
Exactly. The checklist is for the morning when you wake up. The key thing is that for each step as we go along, we keep a note of what happens and what challenges come up.
Testing things out.
Yeah, exactly.
So we can work out a routine.
I hope you all have a nice night. Hopefully nothing comes up. But nothing happened last night either.
Now Neele finally wants to settle in properly. And that also means getting organised.
It can't be a mess, that's why. When I hang things up, everything has to fit into the system. I'm picky about that. It'll be tidy in a minute.
At least for the next few hours, Neele has her independence back and can feel like an adult again in her own shared apartment.
Good night.
That night goes smoothly, and after some back and forth, the Social Welfare Office has agreed to provide Neele with a diabetes assistant, so she can now move back into her shared apartment permanently. Getting back up time and again and ignoring conventional expectations, that's what defines Neele.
I've asked myself this before. How could Neele actually get away with saying, I'm going to be self-employed and the jobs will just follow from there? By taking an interest in new things, new people, and trying out new things. Neele has those qualities already, and you encourage her. That's why Neele can follow this path.
Yes, I'm really proud of Neele for having come this far, for being so, well, such a fighter, and for being able to articulate her wishes so clearly.
Neele is, and always will be, a pioneer and a role model for others, despite all the obstacles.